interesting. Now, I'm not going to be dogmatic or legalistic saying I know the answer and this is the best way to do it, but here's the deal, is Zacharias, it mentioned way back in verse 5. Now, you might want to underline this now or make your note now. I jumped past it because I was saving it. He was from the division of Abijah. We read in 1 Chronicles 24 that King David broke the priests down into 24 groups of priests who would go on a 1-week rotation twice a year. That gets 48 weeks. I'm assuming the other weeks were probably covered by the holy weeks. There's multiple week-long celebrations, or maybe the high priest was the guy in charge. If you go back to 1 Chronicles 24, 17 and 19, specifically verse 10, we are told that Abijah was the 8th division. So there was 1st division, 2nd division. Abijah was the 8th division. That means they served on the 8th week of the year, and then again 24 weeks later. I was just having fun with this. I'm going to have to turn around and see what I'm talking about. So the 1st of Nisan is they have 2 New Years, if that's not confusing, hopefully, for anyone, right? Rosh Hashanah is in the fall, Feast of Trumpets, that's their calendar year for their normal year. But the religious year, it starts in March to April. You guys know Easter's different every year, right? That's because it goes off a Jewish calendar, and it goes off of full moons. So whenever the moon shines, that is the next moon. The month of Nisan starts. In Exodus, we read during the Exodus, this shall be your first. It was the 7th month, but now it shall be the 1st. All right, let's move along. I picked a random date in mid-March because I've had Easter be to me, I always feel like Easter's usually like the 1st week of April. That's just kind of ballpark, but I feel like where has it fallen most often in my life? Which means you have to back up a few weeks. So I picked a mid-March date as a random date. Honestly, I picked it totally randomly. And I counted up with my blue dots, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There on the 22nd of April, I think this is a 2020 calendar. I just picked something. Would have been Zacharias' first time to the temple. He would have then gone back 24 weeks later, which are my little green dots that take us all the way down to October 14th. If the angel Gabriel had met with him in his second go-around, it would have been somewhere in October. The next week he goes home. I'm assuming he gets right to making that baby. And let's just say she conceives the next week, 21st of October. Well, then I started counting months. 1st month, 2nd month, 3rd month, 4th month. The 5th month completed on March 25th. And I shaded my little orange color up there. Basically, the end of March, beginning of April, was the 6th month. Gabriel came to Mary in the 6th month, right? So it's anywhere in that window. So I was like, well, I'll pick Friday. And I literally just got it. So from Friday, Mary gets pregnant. Go over 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, 9 months, lands on December 25th. Boom, I proved it. No, okay. Now we all know it's not that easy. But here's the point. I'm going to throw this out there, is that there's a group of very, very spiritual, and they'll let you know how spiritual they are, people. No Christmas trees, no Christmas, it's all pagan, throw it all out. What you find is a lot of that was started by the Jehovah's Witnesses because they don't like holidays. And they really promoted why we should not celebrate Christmas because they don't want to celebrate any holidays. And so they came up with a lot of anti-Christmas propaganda. On Christmas here, I spent some time going into this, and I won't go, maybe I'll do some more next week as we actually get to the birth of Jesus. But when you start looking historically, I want to say it's Hippolytus in like 150, like 2nd century, early on, was writing down December 25th as the birth of Christ. That is way before Rome came in and had control, Council of Nicaea and all these things. It's historically been very early that the December 25th was a date. And Saturnalia, the Roman pagan holiday, or the other, it's never been on the 25th. It's like a week or so before. It's typically never would ever get up to the 25th. But people like to say, they see it on YouTube, right? And of course, you gotta believe everything you watch on YouTube. And they start preaching why you can't have Christmas trees, can't celebrate Christmas. Oh, it was too cold. I've been to Israel in the winter. It's not that cold. You can be outside at night. There's all these arguments. All I'm gonna say is this. I strongly believe that there is enough evidence to make a case for a December birth of Christ, and therefore I have no problem with Christmas.